Hello friends, welcome to B.Sc.Agriculture. If you are coming to my channel for the first time, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Your subscription and likes are always motivating us. So let's move to the video. In this video, we are going to see about fundamentals of biochemistry. I am going to cover Unit 5, which is our last unit of our lecture. So in this video, we are going to see about secondary metabolites, where the occurrence classification as well as the functions of phenolics, as well as the another secondary group of secondary metabolites, which are also comprised of terpenes and alkaloids. So secondary metabolites, I am going to give a short introduction about them. So secondary metabolites are nothing but the organic compounds which do not have a direct role in the growth and development of human body. So there are more than lakhs of secondary metabolite compounds which are produced by plants. So the compounds are mainly classified into 5 major groups, which are phenolics, terpenes, alkaloid, and special nitrogen metabolites, and cuticular compounds. So the first one is phenolics, which is the compounds catalyzed by the least one aromatic ring which bearing one or more hydroxyl groups, which is mainly based on plant origin, and which they are mainly biosynthesized by Shikimate pathway. It's how the phenolics are said to be produced. So the classification of phenolics, I have given the classification. As I know, there are some around 8 classes of phenolics. So based on the phenolics name, there is a carbon skeleton classification on them. I have also given the examples for them. So I have already told you that the phenolics are usually produced by Shikimate pathway. So while seeing the Shikimate pathway, it is an important pathway in plant, which is main reason for the production of secondary plant products, as well as the key starting material for the Shikimate pathway or posphenol pyruvate, which is derived from glycolysis, as well as erythrophosphate, which is derived from pentose phosphate pathway. So these are the two condensed products which are used to form a 6 carbon cyclic compounds with one COH group, which is an acid group. So it's how the Shikimate pathway usually occur. So the deamination as well as the hydrolyzation of the different carbon groups in the aromatic ring used to form a cinnamic acid derivatives. So the important aromatic amino acids of Shikimate pathway are phenylalanine as well as tryptophan, which is usually takes place in this process, and the cinnamic acid derivative which is utilized for the synthesis of different phenolic compounds in nature. So the plant phenolics, which is derived from Shikimate pathway, it's how the glucose used to give the 5-dehydrated Shikimate, where it used for hydrolyzed tannin, or else it go for Shikimate cycle and used to form a simple phenols as well as condensed phenol. Based on the classification, once it go for phenylalanine and use it to form cinnamic acid, it go for the transformation of simple phenols, or else it go for triazine and p-hydroxycinnamic acid, which used to give flavonoids as well as condensed tannins, or else they used to form lignins, cuteins, and submarines in the plant compounds. It's how the Shikimate pathway occurs. So the significance of phenolics are they are used to form important cell wall compounds in plant cells. They used to form parts of the cell structures like lignin, cutein, submarine, which used to provide the mechanical structure and functional barriers to the microbial activities of the plants. And they also used to contribute to fruit and flower colors. So they are used to form flavonoids as well as anthocyanins, which attracts insects and animals and help plants for pollination and seed dispersal in the process. And they also act a defensive role in plants by protecting it from predators. So the effective feeding deterrents like phenolic acid and phenolic tannins, where the phospholic resins are used to be formed from the phenolics, as well as the post low molecular compounds like phenolotoxins are used to be formed, which is the result of microbial activity. Also, they used to contribute a disease resistant mechanism in plants. They used to form phenolic phytoalkyl, hydroxycoumarine, and hydroxycinnamic conjugate in this process. And they also used to produce allophilic acids, where the juganine and jugan species is highly toxic to wide range of plants. So which also occurs in the plants as non-toxic glucolides, and they used to active by the decalcination as well as the oxidation of leaching from the leaves into soil. Also, they act as a signal molecules, which is interaction of nitrogen fixation bacteria and leguminous plants, which is a main useful one. And they are also act as flavonoid, which is rhizonia, which induce the nodal gene transcription in the legumes. So I have already told you that the signal molecule, where the salicylic acid is used to act as a defense response in several plants, which is a species against different types of pathogen, and they also act as an antioxidant, and they are also used in important foodstuffs, wines, herbal teas are used for the arginine taste in phenolics, as well as they use it as tanning agent in leather industries. And the phenolic pigments of anthocyanin and flavonoids of fruits, which used to form a food color, which is occurring in fruit juices, wines and jams. So the anthocyanin, which is used in food industry, are safe and effective against as food additives. So after the phenolics, we are going to see about the terpenoid, which is an ingredient of flavoring and of perfume and food colorants. So they use it to produce in a great variety with the branched C5 block chains, only 5 carbon chains. So the 5 carbon unit is synthesized by the condensation of 3 molecules of acetyl CoA in this process. So the terpenes are classified into 8 groups. So the 8 classes are given this. So they use it to have a number of 5 carbon units. So which is also a multiplication of 5. So based on the name, you can able to have the numbers. For example, hemiterpene, which used to have 5 carbon compound, as well as in polyterpene, they used to have 4000 number of carbons. So the general pathway for terpenoid biosynthesis is acetate malonate pathway. So where the precursor is acetoacyl CoA. So the 2 molecules of acetoacyl CoA is condensed by the presence of acetoacyl CoA thiolase, where they used to form acetoacyl CoA. So after the addition of acetoacyl to form a hydroxymethyl glutarate CoA with the help of HMGA CoA synthesis, they use it to reduce and form malonic acid, which is MVA, in the presence of NADPH and HMGA reductase. So after that, they use it to require 1 molecules of ATP and use it to form dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate DMAPP. So the MAPP, which is condensed from DMAPP, is used to produce general pyrite phosphate, the GPP. So GPP is termed as perennial donor to form another IPP molecule from famous pyrophosphate, which is FPP. So the dimerization of GPP and FPP gives rise to diterpenes and triterpenes respectively. So the tetraterpenes, carotenoids, are which is produced by the condensation of 2 molecules of gernopyrophosphate, which is produced from the above terpenoid biosynthesis process. So what are the activities which are required by terpenoids or the monoterpenoids? So they use it to interfere in the metabolic, psychological as well as behavioral functions of insects. So they exhibit acute toxicity, which act as repellent, attractant, antiferent, as well as affect growth and development, reproduction in plants. They use it to form cytotoxic to the plants, as well as plays an important role in plant-plant interaction. So the compounds of terpenes, which is responsible for, which inhibits phenylenediamine citrusol, which is used to inhibit the growth of amaranthus, which when they are placed near orange trees. So they use it to also possess the antimicrobial activity. So the therapeutic properties of essential oils are said to be obtained from terpenoids of the plants. So the sesquiterpenoids, which is one of the components of terpenoids, so which act as an insect anti-heat substance as well as insect juvenile hormones and pheromones, and they also have a plant growth regulators, which is abscisic acid. So after that, in terpenoids, we are particular to see about diterpenes, where the alkaline diterpene rhinone, which is the most potential naturally occurring insecticide, which act as a lepidopteran larvae in many plants, as well as angiogrins and pleurotin, which acts as insect antiferents, and gibberellic acid, which acts as plant hormones for its elongation, and the terpenoid aldehydes, which is present in cotton, which used to form gossypol, helicosite, and used to have toxic and determinant of feeding several generalist insects. So the sterols, which is diterpenoids, which plays a structural role in plant membranes, which is analogous to cholesterol in animals. So other bioactivities of terpenoids are acetylcysteine and biosinosteroids as well as glycosidic triterpenoids. So they use it to have antiviral ovipositional functional distribution on insects, as well as they use it for growth promoting hormones, and saponins which is used to protect plant from fungal attack. So the terpenoids used to also act as a carotenoids which used as a vital role in photosynthetic tissue by preventing photodynamic changes, where the carotenoids is a provitamin of vitamin A which is mainly found in carrots. And the other one we are going to see is alkaloids, where the plant derived by basic compounds of heterocyclic ring with nitrogen atom are said to be known as alkaloids. So the pseudo-alkaloid was used for exocyclic penicillin bases. So they are not defined as nitrogen containing natural products, so they are not classified. So the names are cyanogenic glycosides, gluconoisolates, and primary metabolites of many plants. So they are not only occur in plants and also occur in bacteria, fungi and animals. So there are around more than 50,000 alkaloids has been described until now. So the classification of alkaloids we can broadly classify into three types, which is true alkaloids, proto-alkaloids as well as pseudo-alkaloids. So the true alkaloids are where they are mainly derived from heterocyclic rings of amino acid, and the proto-alkaloid which does not possess heterocyclic ring but they are derived from amino acids. So pseudo-alkaloids which is not derived, an exceptional case, which are not derived from amino acids. So it's how the major classification of taxonomy is occur, and based on the paramorphological properties and biosynthetic pathway, it's how the taxonomy of the alkaloids are done. So while seeing the biosynthesis of alkaloids, they are derived from amino acids like 6 amino acids. What are them? Are lysine, phenylene, tryptophan, aspartic acid, asparagine and histidine. These are the 6 amino acids which are responsible for the synthesis of alkaloids. So they are used from other pathways such as terpenoids and often attached to basic skeletons of the amino acids. They do not use it to have a common pathway for biosynthesis of individual alkaloids in this compound. So the functions of alkaloids are they use it to play a defensive role in plants as well as have an antimicrobial complex, and use it to form allopathic effects in many plants. They use it to possess psychological action in humans. Example, vinblastine and vincristine from Caranthus roses, which act as an anti-cancer drug for. So I have given the lecture notes in description. If you have any doubt, please comment in the section. If you like the video, like it and share it with your friends, and subscribe to B.Sc.Agriculture and hit the bell icon to get regular updates. So thanks for watching the video. Thank you. I will catch you up in next videos.